Okay, so let's look over the sprite sheet. I use GIMP to do my sprite sheet work and my pixel work. Okay, so here's an overview of the whole sprite sheet that we're going to use for this 2D melee attacking game. Okay, and so this art I got from itch.io. You're not going to find this completed sprite sheet on the internet. Neither am I going to give it away. But what you can do is get all the pieces of it on the internet from their specific artists, okay, and piece it together yourself, just like so. All right, just so what I did is, for example, for this section, I will drag this in here, okay, and just right. So this came like this from the artist, and I just pieced it in like that, okay. So that's the general idea, and I pieced it all, okay. Okay, now there's some considerations. For example, we can see this girl here. Ideally, you want the animations to be lined up inside of some sort of unified area for each frame. As you can see, this girl here, this set for her, she's inside of a 32 by 48 space for each frame. Okay, and I had to do that manually. It's not so bad. Just line it up to where she's in there, because the artist gave it to us like this, where you see like here her foot sticks out tiny little bit. It's not quite perfect in there, but you can nudge it over easily, and then it is. Okay, so I'll still have to do that for her for these ones. I don't know how many of these I'll use. Okay, but little things like that you want to do just so everything is in perfect line. Okay, the title screen for the game is on the sprite sheet. The game over screen is on the sprite sheet. Anything that we're going to display is going to be on the one sprite sheet, including the HUD. Okay, well, what we do for the HUD is we take from here, and some of these elements will be separated from the sprite sheet, and we'll bring it in as a base64 into CSS. So we just use it very directly in the HTML for the HUD. I'll go over doing that later. Okay. Let's see what else. Right. So that's a general overview of the sprite sheet. We build it from the assets, whatever assets we get. In this case, it's those artists. I'll have the links down below in the description. And okay, so I think the next thing we'll do is we'll start by plugging this character into the game. Okay, so in the next part of this sprite sheet part, we'll take this guy and we'll plug him in to here. So we'll place the square with this animation, this character, everything with it attacking and everything. Okay, so right, as we see here, the general setup is 16 by 16. Certainly for the tiles, we see it's a 16 by 16 setup. All the tiles fit within 16 by 16 nicely. And if you look at a glance at the grid compared to the player, it doesn't fit into 16 by 16 nicely. What I've done for the player is gone ahead and put it in a 56 by 56 area. Okay, because the player happens to fit perfectly within 56 by 56. That's how the artist gave it. Okay, and then in code, we'll just plug it in. So we'll start by plugging in the code and stuff for the character, which is easy, because what we do is we use the from art to code section to give us the code for it, and then just copy paste it pretty much in here, and we'll change this to a weapon holding attacker class.